live from Channel 8 Studios. My name's Hannah Lawler and this is Channel 8 Action News. Disequilibrium unemployment. It's one of those big terms that the media and politicians like to occasionally throw around. Maybe it's because nobody really understands it. But what does it really mean? And how does it affect anyone looking for a job at the moment? This special report is brought to you by Larry Hanson. Over to you, Larry.
Thanks, Hand Dog. Today we're going to talk about disequilibrium unemployment and how it affects people such as yourselves, and why it is, despite just how good looking you are, you just can't seem to get a job.
Meet Phoebe, a 21-year-old unemployed student who is currently on youth allowance. Phoebe has been looking for work for years, but has had no luck ever since she turned 18.
How many jobs have you applied for?
Probably only about 20. That's in the last 2 weeks.
And how many people do you know are in the same situation you are?
Probably just about everyone I know.
Yeah.
We're all on Centrelink. I can't even go down there without bumping into someone I know.
And why do you think employers are not willing to hire people like you who are so desperate for any sort of work?
I don't know. You know, and it's nothing to do with experience. You know, when I was a kid, I was dishing out chips and smacking on burgers since I was 14. And now, ever since I turned 18, I can't get a job anywhere.
So apparently there are many people like Phoebe out there who just can't seem to get a job. But is it really those damn kids who keep stealing our jobs?
They took our jobs! They took your jobs! They took your jobs! They took your jobs!
And our employers just so frugal that they're just not willing to hire someone over 18. So why don't we go stalk one down and find out? We go. Alright, what we got here? We got the Red Room, Refect, that's closed. That place looks barely open. I can see someone there. Alright, let's go get her. Come on. Just down there.
Meet Kathleen, the owner of this bubble tea store, who has managed the store for almost a year. However, being understaffed, she is now finding it difficult to continue.
Let's go to the bar. Let's get her. Excuse me. So thanks, Kathleen, for taking the time with us today.
You just won't leave me alone.
Yeah. So how's business going, Kathleen?
Pretty good, but very busy. One of the part-time workers and I have to work from morning to the evening, and sometimes I even don't have time to have my lunch.
So Kathleen, that being the case, why don't you just hire extra people?
I do want to, but I cannot afford one more person.
So how does that affect your business then?
Not expand my business. During the peak hours, some consumers, they don't want to wait in a long line for just one drink.
So we've heard from both sides, and basically there are people who are obviously looking for work, and there are employers like Kathleen who need more staff but can't afford to hire. So the question is, why is this happening and how do we fix it? Next we talk to Professor Chillard at the University of Queensland to further understand this issue.
Thanks for having me, Larry. I'll start by explaining the current levels of youth unemployment. According to a news report by ECON7010 in March 2014, youth unemployment is at an all-time high. Standing at 12.5%, this figure is more than double the overall unemployment figure, and it is rising rapidly. In Cairns, it's up 88% in 2 years. Around Logan, it's jumped 61%. Sydney Hills District, 73%, and Melbourne's East, almost 50%. And young people are on benefits for longer. The number of 18 to 20-year-olds on New Start allowance is up 29% in 2 years. So why is this the case? It's best to look at the labour market to explain why. The labour market includes quantity of labour and wages. In this market there is a demand for labour as well as a supply for labour. The point at which demand for labour and supply for labour intersect is called the equilibrium. This equilibrium ascertains the market employment level as well as the market wage level. However, when there's an exceedingly high minimum wage, like there is currently in Australia, you find the demand for labour is lower than at market equilibrium. Also, you find that the supply of labour is higher than market equilibrium. And the gap between the demand for labour at the high minimum wage and the supply of labour at the high minimum wage determines the current unemployment level.
Thanks for that, Professor Chillard. And it seems to make much more sense when explained graphically. However, we've found that there are still some people being employed at the moment in this current disequilibrium, and they do so illegally. So how long have you been working there?
I've been working there for 4 months.
Have you always been paid cash in hand?
All my salary was paid by cash. I think I won't be paid by card and neither other staffs.
How many people do you know are in the same situation you are?
All staffs working there are in the same situation with me, I guess. Except some senior managers.
And are you going to continue to work under these conditions?
Because I have to. No, otherwise who else will hire me? I can only find a job at Sunnybank. It's better to be paid less than nothing, right?
So disequilibrium affects all of us. Obviously, for those of us who are already in secure jobs, having a high minimum wage is advantageous. But for the rest of society, this means the overall number of jobs decreases substantially. So this affects not just people who are looking for work, but also small businesses as well. So the question we have to ask is having a high minimum wage above equilibrium, that is, above the market wage that both employers and employees agree on, good for society? I'm Larry Handsome reporting. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for that interesting and thought-provoking story, Larry. From everyone at Channel 8 News, thank you for watching and good night.